Oh hey, my name's Toro. Welcome to the apocalypse. There's been a parasitic outbreak that's infecting every living organism in this world. I will attempt to survive this outbreak in hardcore, meaning one wrong choice and it's over for good. And these parasites, they're no joke. The bigger they are, the harder they hit. So I'm gonna have to use whatever I can to my advantage to ensure my survival. So, will I live long enough to tell you the tale of how I managed to survive this outbreak? Or will it become a parasitic monster like the rest? Well, we're not gonna find out just by laying around now, are we? Okay, here we are, day one. I started by collecting some wood, and then I got started on making the basic stone tools. I didn't want to take too long getting the resources because this mod is very unforgiving, and the longer you take to get ready, the worse it's gonna be in the end. Now that I had the basic stone tools, I set out to collect some resources and food for the next couple of days, as I was going to be spending my days underground. I then noticed that it was getting dark, and trust me when I say, you do not want to be outside when it's dark in this mod pack. You guys will see later. I decided to set up shop though in the hole that I made when I was making the stone tools, and yeah, you guys will see why I decided to make my base inside of a mountain. Well, go. There we have it. This is gonna be base for the next 99 days. I made myself a shield and then got started on making a mine so I can get some iron. I went back up to check if it was night, and it was. So I made a sign to keep track of the days, and then I went memes. In the morning of day two, I went back down to the mine to collect some iron. That way, I'll be able to make myself a full set of iron armor so I can go back outside and not die immediately by a random ass parasite. I know I said I was gonna get a full set of iron armor before I went back outside, but I didn't find any. So I just decided to go back up and build myself a little airlock so I can be safe whenever I go back to base. I then went out to collect some sand and some wood so I can make glass for the windows of the airlock. And on my way to collect some wood, I stepped on like a cactus ball or something. I don't know what it was. It looked like a cactus, but I stepped on it and I just bled all over it. So yeah, that was fun. Anyways, as I was collecting wood, I heard a weird animal noise and I saw a moose. And I peeled it the hell out of there. I'm not dying to a moose on day two. Then I headed back home so I could smelt the wood and the glass for the airlock. And while I waited for the glass to smelt down, I went to go pretty up the airlock a little bit, because it was getting a little bland. And as I was placing in the glass, I had my first encounter with the parasite. Yeah, that scared the hell out of me. I did not know how strong that parasite was, but it came out of nowhere, straight out of the darkness. In the morning of day 3, I decided to go check if that thing was still outside, but I didn't see it. So I decided to go back into the mine to get some iron, because there's no way I'm going back outside after what I just saw without armor. After a few minutes of mining, I finally hit iron. So I mined it all up and mined down to level Y level 12. Afterwards, I decided to build some stairs so I don't get 27 concussions every time I go down to mine. After building the stairs, I made myself an iron pick and headed back down to the mine to continue to look for iron. After mining for a while, I found some diamonds, which was good, because I need the strongest gear I can get. I then decided to continue to mine for iron until I had enough to get a full set of iron armor. Days 4 and 5, I decided to make myself some new gear. I made myself a diamond halberd, which does 14 hearts of damage, which was good, because I can defend myself better against the parasites now. I also made myself a full set of iron armor so I can go collect more resources as I was starting to run low on food and wood. After a while, I decided to just go back home and make myself a clock so I can keep track of the days so I don't repeat a day. Shortly after, I went back down to mine for diamonds, and there was a parasite just chilling on a ledge above me. Homie was just watching me from the darkness. So I just blocked him off just in case it jumps at me or something. I don't know. I wasn't successful in my mining trip, so I decided to just go back home. And when I got home, I decided to check outside to see if there were any parasites I had to deal with, but I couldn't see any. I mean, I could hear one, but I couldn't see it, so I decided to just leave it be and leave it for tomorrow. On day 6, there was a parasite thing outside my base, so I went to go deal with it before it evolves. And afterwards, I went back inside and made myself a bucket and a diamond pickaxe, and then I went outside to collect some seeds, as food was starting to get hard to come by. I then got a little crop lot set up so I can grow some seeds, and I decided to just take a little break and head to bed for the night. On day 7, I continued to work on the crop plot, and when I finished, I planted my seeds to grow some wheat and decided to head out. When I got home, I decided to make my bedroom, because if I was going to stay down here for 100 days, might as well make it cozy, right? And on days 8 and 9, I made myself a bow and continued to work on my bedroom.
Artlist.io
Day 9, I finished my bedroom, and afterwards I went to go make some renovations to the airlock and then went to bed.
I then went down to the mine for diamonds, and when I went down there, I heard a some zombies or some zombie spawners, and thankfully I found those because I'm gonna need a lot of XP for enchanting, like a lot. And as I was looting around, a random skeleton dropped from the ceiling and scared the hell out of me. I then went to go look for more diamonds, and the worst thing happened.
Yeah, that could have been bad. I decided to just change directions of mine for diamonds because if I don't get diamonds quickly, something is gonna kill me, and it might not even be the parasites. I kept mining until day 11, and after a while, I went back up to harvest my wheat and make some iron pickaxes so I can mine the rest of the diamonds.
On day 12, I got some obsidian so I can make an enchanting table, but I didn't get too much as the nether was off limits. I then headed back home and made myself a full set of diamond armor. On day 13, I spent all day creating a fishing room so I can get extra food. But after waiting for what felt like hours, I didn't catch a thing. So I decided to just turn into a sugar farm and want minis. On day 14, I was outside dealing with a creeper that eventually exploded on me. But as I started to explore a little, I came across a little problem. Yeah, there was something called a beacon outside the base, and there wasn't just one. No, 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 no. There was two. And these things are not fun. They spawn in bigger, stronger, faster parasites that could easily turn me into another parasitic monster. I had to find some sort of way to get rid of these things before they become a problem. At the time, I didn't know how bad they were, so I just decided to let them be as they didn't really seem to be doing anything. So I just went around clearing any infected that were lurking around. As I was restocking on food, I spotted a desert temple and decided to go check it out. Inside one of the chests was a Fire Aspect 2 book, which was huge, because the parasite's only weakness was fire. So if I enchant my halberd with this thing, it'll deal more damage with my attacks. I looted the rest of the chests, took the TNT, and went to collect some wood. Afterwards, I decided to head back home as it started to get dark. On day 15, I decided to check up on the beacons to see if they were still there, and I tried to get rid of them. But as I was shooting them, this happened. Yeah. One of the beacons spawned in the same parasite that chased me on day 2. I ran for dear life as I didn't know how strong this thing was, and I just barely made it into the airlock in time. decided to switch the windows with arrow slits so I can defend from all three sides. I was able to get a PID on one of the beacons and decided to unload all the arrows it had, but it was still alive. Like, it did not die. And I ran out of arrows, so I decided to just leave it for tomorrow and went mini. On day 16, I enchanted my halberd with fire aspect so I can deal more damage when it comes to fighting the parasites. After fighting some infected, I came across a village and decided to take some of the crops to grow some at home. Thankfully, this village also had a library, so I was able to get some books for the enchanting table. After taking the books, I spotted a ruined building just outside the village, so I went to go check it out, and in the corner I found a chest with the golden apple, which is going to be pretty useful later. After exploring for a while, the sun started to go down, so I decided to head back home before nightfall as it's dangerous to be outside at night. Like, it's really bad. After heading back home, I got started on making the enchanting table so I can enchant my gear for a better chance at survival. Afterwards, I went to the airlock to see what was going on, and there were parasites killing and infecting mobs outside the base. And then out of the darkness came a new type of parasite. This thing was lanky and had a mouth for a ribcage. It looked like it was one of the fast ones, so running away won't be enough to escape this thing. As I was finding it, it ran away, and when it came back, more parasites started showing up. I was able to get rid of them, but then a weird hound-looking thing appeared and managed to hit me from outside the airlock. I didn't know what to do, so I decided to go inside and just let it be. On day 17, that thing was still there, and it looked like it was one of the fast ones, let alone a strong one. It was just there, watching me from behind the glass. I didn't know what to do, as there was no way for me to get rid of it without going outside or letting it in the airlock. After a while, I was able to get a shot on it, but it ran away after one shot. After a few minutes, it came back, and it looked like it evolved overnight. Thankfully, I was able to get rid of it before it evolved again. After that, I went back inside and started to enchant my gear for a better chance of survival. On day 18, I went to collect some quicksand that was by the beacons, and I wanted to conduct some tests for traps to build outside of the base. I then decided to check on the beacons, and that's when I got an idea. See, the parasite's one weakness is fire. Now, my halberd was enchanted with fire aspect, however, it was way too risky to try and get rid of them by hand. That's when I remembered I can pick up lava with a bucket. So I went to the mine and searched for some lava. I then rushed towards the beacons to place it. I peeled it back home and I went to bed, hoping it would be gone by morning. On day 19, I went to check if the lava worked, and it did. So I picked up the lava and did the same thing to the other one. After filling it at base, I watched the beacon burn. When it died, I went to deal with any infected and pick up the lava. I then went down to the mine to collect more lava and started filling up the moat. I woke up on day 20 and continued to fill up the moat. I was organizing my inventory when a weird sound played. I didn't know what it was, so I went to put some stuff away and decided to check it out, but when I got outside, I didn't see anything. So I decided to check out that desert temple that was blocked by the beacons. I ran into some infected, but I was able to deal with them with no problem. I started exploring the temple, and I found tunnels blocked by iron bars. I lit up the area and started to explore them.
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. I-O. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io.
Well, that was fun. I headed back home to store all the spoils that I got. I realized I spent days 20 and 21 down there, so I changed the sign to day 22, and I enchanted my halberd with the sharpness book 1 that I got. So now it does 15 hearts of damage, isn't that great? I then made the rest of the bookshelves to the enchanting table. And there we have it, level 3 enchanting table. I started enchanting my gear with the best possible enchants to give me an edge in survival. I then harvested all my crops and turned all my wheat into bread for backup food. Here is where I was glad I made my base underground. On day 23, I made more storage chests to store the rest of the loot that I got from the desert temple. Then I went to pretty up the entrance. Afterwards, I went to go get rid of the witch because her cackles were starting to get real annoying. On the night of day 23, the base got attacked by parasites. That's when I noticed that the airlock had a flaw. See, there was a side that the parasites were able to stay on top of so they don't fall into lava. And if I went outside, they would be able to just jump on me and kill me. So I had to decide what to do to, fix that. On day 24, I was inside the airlock and I came across a new type of parasite. This one has the ability to fly, which means that any sky base or tower base would be futile as parasites were now able to reach me from above. I went inside to get some arrows, but when I came out, it was gone, so I decided to take care of the flaw in the airlock. Then I got surprise attacked with the same parasite that I was gonna shoot down. After killing it, I scanned the area for any lurking parasites, but I didn't see any. So I decided to continue to work on the flaw of the airlock and restock on some wood while I was out. On day 25, I decided to build a tower to take care of any airborne parasite, without having to worry about any ground parasites. And once again, I got attacked by another parasite. After dealing with the parasite, I went back out to continue to work on the tower, and I kid you not, I got attacked by a tarantula. Like a legit tarantula. What? After that whole ordeal, I continued to work on the tower as parasites were starting to be more frequent.
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
On day 26, I created a smelter that will smelt all my extra cobblestone for some XP for enchanting. I then went outside and I got distracted by butterflies. Like, no joke, I got distracted by them the entire day. And before you go make fun of me for it, it ain't my fault, alright? I have ADHD. I get distracted by the tiniest things. Like, look at me, I even started playing tag with them. Look at me, I'm just having the time of my life. Playing tag with my new butterfly friends. I thought I could collect them, so I went inside and made a bug net and some jars and tried to get the butterflies. Like the entire day. Like I really wanted these butterflies. I tried everything I could to collect them, but they wouldn't be, tameable. So I gave up and just decided to give it a token of appreciation. shortly after the base was under siege, so I had to defend myself and my new butterfly friend. And as I was defending, a new type of parasite arose. And I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a movie series called Tremors, and there's a monster called an ass blaster, and it looked exactly like it. Like, I'm not even kidding. It resembled the exact same thing. As the sun began to rise on day 27, so did the ass blaster. For some reason, homie just decided to ascend, like, until he was eventually gone. Afterwards, I went mining for marble, and I heard a ton of mobs, so I dug around for a little and found a spawner room with 2 spawners. So I cleared it out, looted the chest, and turned it into an XP grinder. I sat at the grinder days 28 to 29 collecting XP so I can enchant once I get back home. Waking up on day 30, I started enchanting my gear with the best enchantments that I can possibly get. So, unfortunately, days 31 through 36 got corrupted, so I lost all the footage from those days. But I'll try to explain what happened. I went exploring for a little while and I found a big wizard tower looking thing. And when I explored inside, it had like a similar dungeon like thingy, the same thing that the desert temple had. And I found my way through it, looting whatever I could, and I came across ingredients to brew potions as well as a brewing stand. So I collected everything that I could, to make potions and stuff, and I headed back home. And when I got home, I got started on making a brewing room. I made I put some soul sand down, I put some nether wart down, I put the brewing stand down. I switched the furnaces with water for, infinite water bottles. And yeah, we now have a brewing room. Also, I don't know why the audio was like that. Like, it sounded really weird. I don't know why. On day 37, I enchanted my halberd with another sharpness book, so now it does a little bit extra damage. Afterwards, I harvested all my crops and turned all my carrots into golden carrots for, better food saturation. And then I went outside to take care of a parasite that pretty much took care of itself. Like, I didn't even have to do anything. On the night of day 37, I made speed potions just in case I get into some trouble and I need a quick escape. I was in the tower just watching as all hell broke loose. There were new parasite types that started to go around, and I didn't know what to do, so I just went to bed. In the morning of day 38, I made some renovations to the tower, so now I can shoot down from above. I then went mining for diamonds as my halberd was starting to get low on health. headed back home and fixed my halberd as well as make a diamond axe. On day 42, I made myself a boat so I could go exploring the ocean. After exploring for a while, I came across an oasis. Isn't that nice? Look how beautiful it is. After a while later, the sun started to set, so I made a quick little shack so I can spend the night. I defended against both parasites and mobs the entire night since I didn't have a bed. In the morning of day 43, I took down my little shack and cleared out any infected I ran into. That's when I spotted a new type of parasite. This thing was bulky, and it had tentacles coming up from all sides. From the looks of it, it seemed to be one of those bloater or carrier ones, so I cleared my way to get a better shot and got rid of it. I continued exploring and I came across a platform that had a ladder, so I climbed down it, but it was really dark. I couldn't see a damn thing. So I went back up to make some torches and I went back down, which was a really, really bad idea. I was so scared of dying. I don't even know how I managed to survive that, but I'm glad I did. I went around clearing all the mobs and looting all the chests I came across. I entered a room that spawned witches, and they are not fun. They're the only thing other than the parasites that can easily kill me, so I had to use caution while dealing with them. Inside some chests, I found some really, really good loot. I found a beacon, a notch apple, better armor, better pickaxe, as well as an elytra. As I was clearing out some infected, I heard a beacon spawn, and I quickly got rid of it, as it was already dangerous enough with some infected. I didn't want to have to fight any bigger parasites. This is what I call the witch room. It spawns in a witch every time I kill one. I had to find a way to get rid of the spawner without dying. I had many close calls trying to break the spawner, and eventually I just gave up trying to get rid of it, and I looted the chest and decided to head back home. It feels so nice to not be in a room full of death and destruction. Damn, not even in the ocean I'm safe. On day 52, I merged the armor I got with the armor I was wearing, and then I went to collect some sand as I wanted to capture and monitor a live parasite. As I was fighting some infected, a beacon spawned. and I quickly got rid of it before it evolved. Afterwards, I went home, cleared an area, and then got started on building the containment cell.
Artlist.io.
And there we have it. This is where I'll capture the parasite. Now for the tricky part. I had to get a parasite in the containment cell safely, so I led this one over to it. But when I tried to jump on the platform, I fell into the cell. Man, these things pack one hell of a punch. I sealed up the containment cell and went to bed. This is the infected human. This is what happens when a parasite infects either a human like me or a zombie. And I don't want to turn into one of these things. In the morning of day 56, I started monitoring the parasite's behavior. It seemed to be aggro to me even though I was behind the glass. That's when I started to wonder if it could evolve, so I let it be alone for a while to see if anything happens. As I was up in the tower, I spotted a new type of parasite. From the looks of it, it was a flying carrier. It can explode by releasing parasitic maggots to infect whatever it comes into contact with, so I have to use both caution and range to deal with them. As I was watching it, it exploded on something, so it looks like I was safe for now. I then just decided to stay in the tower for the rest of the night. On day 58, I got started on building a storage room as I was starting to run out of space.
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
When I was done building, I organized all my loot and I went to the tower to deal with any lurking parasites. On day 59, I went to check on the parasite, but it looks like it didn't evolve. So I left it alone and went to find a different parasite to study. I then went to check up on the village that I found earlier to see if it's been overrun, but surprisingly not. All the villagers and animals are still there. I didn't find any new parasites, so I just found my way back home and watched the sunset. On day 60 or 61, I started placing quicksand around the perimeter of the base. I wanted to have quicksand there just in case I'm running to base and I'm being followed by a parasite. So yeah. And then afterwards, I went to go search for a new parasite to study. Then this Enderman started acting weird and funny.
I didn't find any new parasites, so I went home and started renovating my bedroom as it didn't fit with the storage room. As I was renovating, I heard an explosion. So I went to go check on the parasite to see if it breached itself, but there was no breach. It was completely fine. So I don't know what that explosion was. My guess is flying carrier exploded on something. In the morning of day 62, I got rid of the parasite that I had in containment because I wanted to study a different one. I then started to search for a different parasite to study, but I couldn't find one anywhere. As I was climbing up the tower, I spotted a new parasite to study. I looked around to see if there were any other parasites nearby, but I didn't see any. So I got started on building the stairs to the sail, to the cell so I can contain it. I decided to just go old school and lead it into the cell myself and close it when it was in. And thankfully, I was able to get the parasite in the containment cell without issue. Meet the primitive bolster parasite. This parasite lumbers around killing whatever it can catch. It's slow, but a heavy hitter, so caution is best used for these things. As I was collecting some fuel, I heard thunder, so I went to check if the parasite evolved, and it did. Meet the adapted bolster parasite. Like the primitive bolster, it lumbers around killing whatever it can catch, but this time it can reach from afar. So yeah, it's bad. Even if it's slow, it's still one hell of a heavy hitter. So it's best to be behind cover when you're fighting this. I decided that I wanted a containment tube connecting the containment cell to the containment, or not the containment cell, the airlock to the containment cell. Uh, but when I was coming back from collecting some sand, my heart sank. The parasite was gone. It wasn't in its cell anymore. And I checked if there was a breach, but there was no breach, so it couldn't have got out. I looked around to see if it was there, but I didn't find it. I then thought it just decided to despawn, so I continued to work on the containment tube. That's when I spotted a new parasite. I went to go put some stuff away, but when I came back out, it was gone, like all of them. So I decided to finish up the containment tube. I went up to the tower to scan for any parasites before going to bed, but I didn't see any. In the morning of day 64, I built a better way to capture parasites. I built gates with pressure plates behind them so whenever something steps on them, the gates open and then they close behind them. I also built a better way for me to get out of the containment cell without getting hurt. I put a boat outside and broke a window, and I can quickly access it. I then cleaned up the quicksand that was around the containment cell because whenever I try to capture a parasite, they get stuck in the quicksand, and it's really annoying when they do that. In the morning of day 65, I was trying to loot a parasite into the containment cell, but I kinda messed it up. And somehow I still managed to get it captured. Primitive long arms parasite.
As the name suggests, this parasite is equipped with long arms to pull its prey into its gaping jaws. This parasite is a quick sprinter, so running away isn't going to be able to help. I decided to get rid of it as it was stuck on my boat and I didn't really want it to be outside of the containment cell. So, yeah. I then started placing the cacti around to act like spike walls. For when I'm being chased, I can get stuck in the cacti and I can run away. As a wise turtle once said, yesterday is history, and tomorrow a mystery, but today is a gift. That is why it's called the present. In the morning of day 67, I was out and about when I heard a parasite nearby. I found it stuck in a cave and I wanted to try and capture it. I let it free and booked it to the containment cell. Meet the ruptor parasite. This parasite infects the host with the parasitic larva, and when the host dies, it causes the larva to erupt from the host. Thankfully, it was in containment, and let's hope it stays that way. In the morning of day 71, I went to go check on the ruptor, and it looks like it hasn't evolved yet. So I went around clearing any infected. And when I got back home, the ruptor was gone. So it looks like the despawn theory was in fact correct. In the morning of day 71, I went exploring past the village. Hey, look, piggies! I haven't seen you guys since the beginning. I continued exploring and I came across a house, but something else caught my eye. There was a tower like structure just behind the house, so I went to go check it out. There wasn't really anything interesting upstairs, but there was a dungeon, so I went to go do the dungeon. Well, I mean torches and then do the dungeon. Oh, hi. You you come around here often? could have been bad. When I got home, I fixed up my armor and went down to the XP grinder to get XP for better enchantments. I then enchanted my halberd with sharpness 4, so now it does a lot more damage. In the afternoon of day 80, I went to collect more fuel as I wanted to remodel the airlock as well as the tower. When I got home, I found out I could make dynamite, so I crafted a few of them and went to bed. In the morning of day 81, I also found that I can make explosive arrows, so I made some and want to go test them out. Nice. Afterward, I started renovating the airlock. I decided to spend the night in the test tube because parasites seem to only spawn at night, which is weird. But as I was sitting there, a parasite spawned. I was thinking of getting into the containment cell, but then I heard this. Yeah, no. Whatever makes those kind of noises, I'm saying way the hell away from it. I was up in the tower when I spotted a new type of parasite. This is a heavy carrier parasite. This parasite lumbers around like a tank, but when you get too close, it explodes, releasing parasitic larvae and ruptors. The best way to deal with this is to use fire arrows, and yeah, make sure you don't get too close. As I was watching it, it started to get closer, and when it was close enough, it exploded into tons of little parasites, affecting all the mobs that were under me. Looks like I had my work cut out for me. In the early hours of day 84, I was scanning the area to see what parasite spawned, and a big one spawned in. I wanted to try and capture this parasite, but it didn't follow me into the cell, and I accidentally blew up the floor. I tried again to try and capture it, but I realized how fast it was. And once again, it didn't follow me into the cell. Instead, it got in the boat. I decided to get rid of it as, it was stuck in the boat. I didn't want it to be outside of the containment cell. After running around for a bit, I enchanted the floor? Oh, I changed the floor of the containment cell in the tower. I can't read.
In the morning of day 84, I decided to spend a day in the village as I wanted to be away from base to see if parasites spawn. I also spent the night there, but that wasn't the best choice. A parasite showed up and started attacking the villagers. One villager ran into the building I was in, while the rest were being devoured. The whole night I defended the villager as the parasite was killing everything. In the morning I went out to fight the parasite, but it was gone. I'm telling you, these parasites just decide to despawn for no reason. I got home and finished renovating the tower and took a second to appreciate the base. I wanted to test out the dynamite, so I found some infected to test it out on. Afterwards, I was collecting food when I spotted another tower. I didn't really find anything important, but I did find a glowstone. I then got attacked by a zombie child. I didn't know why. They just ceased to exist. He just left. I continued to fight my way through the dungeon and looting whatever I could. Not this time, chest. Not this time. It wasn't even worth it. Okay. And I had the bright idea of throwing dynamite. I meant to throw it in the hole, but I missed. I was mowing down some mobs and another zombie child attacked me. Little homie just started biting my ankles. Once again, the zombie child, he almost knocked me off the bridge this time. And what happens next is unfortunate. The zombie snuck up behind me and pinned me to the wall. There was nothing I could do. Just like that, my run was over. I died on day 84. I couldn't do anything. Looks like the parasites won this one. Really quick before the video ends, I just want to thank you for watching the video in the first place. This took me a while to make. So I hope you enjoyed it. And don't worry, I'm gonna try this challenge again. I'm gonna try doing another 100 days. So don't worry about that. But yeah, if you did enjoy the video, won't you hit that like button and the subscribe button? This is my first ever video. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Rock on, fools.